Good evening, everybody. Welcome on to another installment of Medical Talk in Layman's Terms with Nurse Charlene, and I am Nurse Charlene. But anyway, yes, and tonight's topic is something big that I'm sure more people than not would probably be able to understand this, and that is, let me make sure I say it right: workplace stress, mental health, and hostile work environment. Anybody ever had a job? Well, this is a part of your job possibly. And if you've never had to experience this a day in your life and everything, okay, you might be one of the lucky ones. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I am very familiar with all the things I'm going to be talking about tonight. So you will call me a kind of expert and everything because if you've had a job, there's been some special moments. And I'll leave it at that for now and everything. So before I get all the way in, y'all come on in and stuff and talk to me and get on here. And I know I wasn't on here last week and everything, but y'all come on back this week and stuff. I study for everything I do every time I come on and stuff. And I want to, get you guys engaged and, take a little tally of who's on and who's not and who wants to see what's going on and everything. Yes, so definitely in the title it says medical talk in layman's terms. So I want to address that real quick and stuff. And that is in layman's terms, meaning to keep it so simple that somebody that knows nothing about medical or mental health or workplace, hostile work environment or something like that can still understand. And if they can't understand for themselves, they might be able to understand for somebody else, one of their loved ones. So either way, it's a win-win situation and everything. So in order to keep going and stuff, I like to put out my podcast disclaimer, and then I'm gonna just go head in and stuff. Y'all come on in and stuff. And I heard one of my friends say the water is fine. Well, y'all come on in and stuff, and let's talk some medical stuff and everything. So the purpose of the podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with your physician for any medical concerns. Okay. If you have questions about a medical condition, reach out to a qualified healthcare professional, your doctor. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you heard on a podcast. That's very important. We all got these podcasts out here, but anybody's claiming that there's something, they should be able to have their license to back it up. So if you want to be medically, and stuff, you can talk about it all you want, but you need to have some type of license. And fortunately for medical talk in layman's terms with Nurse Charlene, Charlene has a license, an active license and everything that she has to renew every 2 years. And this is the 22nd year. So I figure that I've been able to do more work than just, opening up a Band-Aid, and everything. So I put some work in, y'all. So at least it's that reliable and everything. So y'all come on in. I see you, Brittany, Miss Brittany Scott, my baby girl and stuff is on here and stuff. Welcome on, baby. And let me get on back to this. Guest views are their own and may not reflect the views of the host or this podcast. The information shared is general knowledge and it should not be used for any legal or medical purposes. Always consult with a licensed professional who knows your medical history for a meaningful evaluation and stay informed, but always seek professional advice when it comes to your health. You want to go to the healthcare worker, which is your doctor, your nurse, that hospital, that clinic and everything, because there's a good chance that somebody read a medical book in there and they can probably give you some good advice. Whereas if you just guess it or lean on your own understanding, you might find yourself caught up. Even God says, don't lean on your own understanding. Okay. So again, this is Medical Talk in Layman's Terms with Nurse Charlene, and the subject is workplace stress, mental health, and hostile work environments. Oh, look at Auntie Josie. She said, "Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is having a blessed evening. I hope they are too, Auntie Josie, and I hope you are too." And stuff. Welcome on. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. Now I'm not so alone and everything. So I start off with the basic introductions. What am I talking about? What's she talking about? Okay, I thought you never asked. I'm talking about this. Most adults spend 1/3 of their lives at work. See this? When the workplace is healthy, it can provide purpose, income, social interaction, and stability. But when the workplace becomes stressful, toxic, hostile, or violent, it can seriously affect both mental and physical health. Okay. So that I know that was a mouthful. Welcome on in, Miss Sandra. And is T on too also? Well, welcome on, Sandra and T and stuff. Thank you, ladies, for joining. And you're on with Auntie Josie also and stuff. She's in the house, and Miss Brittany is in the house and everything. So welcome on, ladies. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about workplace stress, mental health, and hostile work environments. And I just read the introduction and everything. So workplace stress does not stay at work. Let me say that one more time. Okay, cool. Welcome on in, T and stuff. Workplace stress does not stay at work. It follows people home and can affect what? Sleep. How you sleep. You so nervous and stuff because you know you got to wake up the next morning that you didn't woke up 15, 20 times in your sleep that you were supposed to sleep straight through, but you didn't looked at the clock. And how do I know that? Because I did it. Okay. Yes. And stuff. It affects mood. I don't feel like I hate parties. I don't so what they having a baby shower? I'm not going. You know what they did to me at work? How did that affect me? Because it happened to me. Okay. So relationships. Do you know how hard it is and stuff? You talking about let's go out and have dinner. I'm not going out and have no dinner. I hate dinner. I hate out. I hate whatever and stuff. Yeah. So it's gonna spill over into your relationship, you know, with that husband or with that wife and everything and stuff. And you get to yelling at them and telling them off because they have a good time at their job and your job trying to kill you every day and stuff. Or that's how you feel like you're gonna die every day and stuff like that. But it's the truth, okay? So this is why I'm going here and stuff. Also, it'll affect your physical health. Oh, I'm sick all the time. I'm always getting colds. I'm always getting some type of something and stuff. I catch everything that everybody got, you know, and this and that and that and this, you know, that kind of physical health, or it'll burn you out by, you know, raising your blood pressure, which can affect your heart, which puts extra pressure on your heart. So that's a problem, you know, and everything. So it affects your sleep, your mood, your relationships, you know, significant other, and physical health, and also job performance. I guess I'll be doing bare minimum. I might not even do that. I don't think I'm a chart. I'm probably gonna chart and that's gonna be the end of it. And I'm gonna sign it off. I'm gonna put and you know, I'm just saying, but that's where it goes, you know. And so I don't even feel like being here and stuff. They denied my paid time off and stuff like that, and she get to go all the time. She get all her vacations and stuff, and I got to sit up here with y'all and stuff. I don't even want to be here. I got to work on Christmas. I got to work on New Year's and stuff. So I never get to go out. Did that sound okay? But anyway, I'm just saying that because your body will start sending warning signals. Okay, that's one of my first quotes. Your body will start sending warning signals, and that is, hello, you having too many problems. You got a few of these: sleep and mood, or you might have the relationship and physical health, or it might be affecting your job performance. Hello, yeah, it's snitching. Okay, be aware. I don't know how long you're gonna be there. You can't retire there if you already on day one you already hate it and you want to beat up everybody and stuff. It's probably gonna be a problem and everything. So that's one. And then another quote is, "Your body is a snitch. Believe it. When the workplace becomes toxic, your mind whispers, your mood changes, and your body eventually screams, 'Help! Help! We're gonna die or we're gonna kill somebody.'" I might want to kill somebody first and see how I feel, and then I'll die after that. But I'm just saying, your body will be like, hell, you ain't looking at, oh, yeah, you're gonna find out. You're gonna faith around and find out. Okay. So important definitions to keep it simple, but that you'll know what I'm talking about, and the title and everything. So one definition for the title: workplace stress. It is called the physical and emotional reaction employees experience when job demand exceeds their ability to cope. Examples of workplace stress: a overwhelming workload. They sending me another patient up and I ain't even discharged this one. They gonna already, and they gonna send it up without a report and stuff. So I don't even know what I'm getting. I don't know if it's a man or woman, and I only could say what I've experienced. So it's gonna sound all nursey and stuff, but I don't mean to do that. I'm just saying, they're putting unusual amount of workload on you. I didn't already had all these patients and this and that, this and that, and this one up here talking about I didn't get her no ketchup. And I'm like, do you want your life or do you want ketchup? And this one over here talking about I called you 5 minutes ago, or 30 minutes ago, and it was 5 minutes ago, and stuff like, can you count? And stuff, and so on and so forth. And you got to go in there and smile and say, and he like, they like, bitch, I called you in this room. But anyway, and you get in there and you like, whoo. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get you everything you want because you sound like you know what you talking about. I'm the what? The B word? Oh, okay, thank you very much. That is my colonizer name and everything. Okay. But I'm just saying, it's literally like that. Unreal unrealistic deadlines. That means you gotta have all these things. We used to have these things called "Welcome on in, Auntie Barbara." She said, "Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Glad to see you on here." I'm talking about workplace stress and hostile work environment and mental health, how it make you crazy and stuff. But yes, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome on in. All right. So I was talking about unrealistic deadlines. They had all these tests that we had to take and stuff. And it's like 20 of them and stuff. We got to get them in by a certain time or we get in trouble because it doesn't look good for the floor or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, and in between what? I didn't even pee today. It's been 8 hours and I didn't even pee since I left the house this morning. Like, okay. Okay. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm an expert because I lived it. I lived it and stuff. But it changed. Things changed around and stuff. And then poor leadership. When they say poor leadership, the person that's supposed to be over everything and looking out for their unit and stuff is just shooing it in so that they can look good. But the workers are all unhappy. The workers is fighting with each other and colluding with each other and stuff like that, and all of this stuff happening. And that's the sign of some type of poor leadership. You're not addressing these fires. You're not being a firewoman or fireman to put these fires out. So therefore, you got a whole bunch of disgruntled people that's ready to throw you under the bus because you got the poor leadership because you're not addressing them. You're not making everybody feel comfortable, or you might be addressing just the ones that you like, or you care something about, and then the other ones are left out. So guess what? My production going down. Oh, you only taking care of that one? You and I gotta okay. And so that's where that comes in at. And then there's lack of support. That means, when things are happening and stuff like that, and you get in a bind and stuff, if that other extra coworker that got an easier assignment than you and stuff is not coming in trying to help you, or man this, or hurry up and stock you up in the front, or something like that and stuff, then that's where that comes in at. Oh, welcome on in, my god sister Denise Ray. Welcome on in. I've been getting down on here. This is my podcast. It's on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. sharp and everything. Welcome on in, my dear. Yes, but we're talking about workplace stress, mental health, and hostile work environment. So I'm giving you a little bit of everything and stuff. And this is what Denise said, yes, indeed, that's what be happening. So you feel that lack of support. That's when everything is your fault. And then if you're not even there, it's still your fault. And then when you show up and you do something good, it's still your fault. That how you got it, and everything. Thank you, Denise. She said, I love it. Yeah, so that was workplace stress. Now we're gonna go to mental illness and stuff. Instead of mental health, where it's a nice thing, it's mental illness actually and stuff. And I probably should have put that on the board and stuff, but mental illness is a health condition that affects thinking, emotions, behavior, and coping ability. The ability to be able to hang in there and do the job and everything. And so, examples of mental illness is anxiety. You're anxious, and everything. Any medical people on here or heard of it and stuff? It's called Ativan or lorazepam, Ativan. You know what it is and stuff. And that's the medicine that they give to calm you down when you turned up, 1,000 and stuff. If you got anxiety and you're a worker and stuff, and you come in with anxiety, it don't get better. It get worse. Because somebody might say something like, I need a blue balloon. Well, what the hell you think I am, balloon lady? I'm not giving you no, or you know what I'm saying? You be ready to pop off, and stuff. You already feeling like, had a hard day yesterday. Is there gonna be another hard day today? That's that anxious anxiety, and it follows you. It follows you home and everything and stuff, but mostly it follows you at work for that whole 8, 9, 10 hours that you might be at work and stuff. So you be like, oh my God. And stuff. Depression. I gotta be here for the rest of my life. I'm gonna die. Shoot, I'm gonna die here. Like, oh my God, this job is horrible and stuff. I hate everybody. I hate the walls. I hate the air I breathe in here. I hate. But I'm just saying that's depression. You sad about everything. You can't even be happy because it's so miserable, and everything every day. And then you got burnout and stuff. So I'm gonna explain these in more detail and stuff. But burnout, that's when you just had enough. It's time for you to probably go and stuff, or take a little sabbatical or something like that. I don't know what they call it nowadays, where you step away for a minute and then come back and see if you can reset and reset your brain and stuff. And then you got panic attacks. That's when you already fighting 12 rounds and you just sitting there, but your heart rate is up like you was fighting 12 rounds. Your blood pressure is up like you was fighting 12 rounds. Your anxiety is up and everything getting stiff in your neck, your jaw getting tight and everything and stuff like that. That's a panic attack. It's like you running a marathon and you standing still. You already know what's going on and what's going to come for you and stuff. And it's bad. It does not feel good at all. And then there's post-traumatic stress, and stuff. And that's a whole nother animal, but it's something that you experience. And this is the after effect. So every time something is familiar like that and stuff, you start going through PTSD. That's what post-traumatic stress syndrome disorder is and everything. So it's pretty bad and everything. So now I'm gonna actually explain to you what burnout is. Burnout is extreme exhaustion caused by long-term stress, especially from work. What are we talking about? But anyway, signs that you might be burned out. Emotional exhaustion. I'm just done. I They just everybody talking to you and you just check the hell out. I'm done, and stuff. It's that bad. And how do I know? I told y'all I was the expert. Because guess what? I have burnout. Me. Now I'm gonna give it back. I don't want it no more and stuff. But yes, it's there. Also, feeling detached from work. I hate that place. I don't care if it burned down. I I don't care if it's Chuck E. Cheese. I hate Chuck E. Cheese. And I hate Chucky, whatever it's the mouse or whatever it's the. I hate him too. I hate them video games. I feel like kicking all of them and breaking them and stuff. Yeah, that's probably you feel a little special and stuff. Yeah, I don't care if it burned down. I don't care if the whole thing closed, and stuff. Then where you gonna work? But if you're burnt out, then yeah, you can hate all of it. I hate pizza, sodas, kids, or whatever and stuff. And then also a loss of motivation. Well, the floor don't look that dirty to me, so I'm not mopping it. I mean, you're supposed to do this, and this, and stuff. And you get to this, and this, and I don't do this, or this. That means that I just checked out. There's no motivation. I don't feel like I should have to do nothing. I'm just done. I'm miserable, and that's all to it, and stuff. It's literally that bad and everything. So then there's hostile work environment. And what does that mean? A workplace where harassment, discrimination, intimidation, or bullying makes employees feel unsafe or uncomfortable when they come to work. Examples of this, all these things, in a hostile work environment would be constant insults or belittling. Oh, look at her with her little too tight scrubs on and stuff. And look at her, she just looked musty. And look at him. He wearing them and stuff. He got a camel toe in the front. And you with your coworkers and y'all they thought that was funny, huh? And that might be that person's only scrub. Get them some new ones if you want to talk about them, but I'm just saying, this is where the hostile work environment, because they're belittling somebody, they talking about somebody and everything. Welcome on, Rose. Thank you. She said, "Love you, girl. Love you right back." That's right. And stuff. So then one is I told you, insult and belittling. Another one is sexual harassment. Ooh, baby, come over here. I didn't get dressed and unmusty to come over here and talk to you. Like, just because you see some candy doesn't mean that you get to have a piece. Like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that and stuff. But I'm speaking from my perspective and stuff. But I'm saying even men. Ooh, look at so and so. We look good and stuff. Hey, how you doing? What you doing after work? I'm married. Okay, what we doing after work and stuff? Your wife ain't gonna be there, so what's up? Yeah, you shouldn't do that. He said he married. Okay, but I'm just saying. And then also racial discrimination. Do they always have to have this New Year's off and that little so and so and why they always praying and stuff? Ooh, they get on my nerves with all that prayer stuff. That's so stupid. And how you know it's stupid? Did you talk to Jesus and tell him that you don't like Jesus stuff? But anyway, I'm just saying, and that racial discrimination, it could be they always getting all the jobs and they always, fighting with this person and that person and the blacks is all lazy. All the black nurses is lazy. and stuff like that. That's racial discrimination. Or all the white nurses are lazy and act like they just doing everything and stuff. And it's all of that and stuff. So that's bad. That's not a good thing to be hollering about, and being comfortable saying that. You're causing a hostile work environment and stuff, or threats and intimidation. I ought to knock the assign me that again and watch what happened. I'm a light you up. I'm a light you up. Did that sound right? It probably don't. But what if somebody did that? That would cause a hostile work environment. Now the person that's making a schedule is scared to do your schedule because they don't know if you're going to light them up. You said you was going to light them up. You was going to knock the living daylights and night times out of them, and stuff. So that's where that comes in. So that's bad. If it's at your job and somebody doing that to you, oh my God, that sounds rough and stuff. So then we got workplace violence. Any act or threat of physical harm, harassment, intimidation, or disruptive behavior at work. Let's take it to the parking garage and stuff. I'll run over you with my car, blah blah blah, and so and so. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Or that's like the person going postal and come back up. We done got him fired. Yeah, we got him out of there. We got him out of there, and he come back and shoot all of us. That's workplace violence. He coming to tear us up because now he can't pay his mortgage. He can't pay his car note. He can't take care of his family because y'all got together and did a witch hunt and got him fired or got her fired. Now she coming back to get you. Ooh. Oh. Rosie? Yeah, get it. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. The doorbell. You know what that is, what that means and stuff. So sorry about that. I never had it happen. But what is it? Any act of or threat of physical harm, harassment, intimidation, or disruptive behavior at work. And this includes verbal threats. I'm a knock that's a verbal threat. Bullying. Yeah, come over here by me and stuff and watch what happened and stuff. You're gonna see what happened and stuff. And then everybody kiki ha, and stuff. Yeah, that's not good. Harassment. Every time I come, you look good in that, or you look good in that and stuff. But I'm like, yep, I'm not interested. I look good. Okay. That's probably why I carry tasers and knives and stuff, I'm just saying, and everything. Or physical assault. Somebody get you somewhere and knock the living daylights out of you. One of the patients beat you up, or something like that. In my case, it would be nursing or something like that. And the patient beat the mess out of you or something like that. Or, just any little thing like that and stuff is just crazy and stuff. I got it and stuff. And all those things and stuff added up and stuff, you could see where it's just workplace violence and everything, intimidation. If she come back and stuff, I'm gonna knock the hell out of that nurse. And then the other people don't even back you up and stuff. And you walk into a ticking time bomb or a room where somebody already plotting to tear you up, and stuff. And what do? Fight or flight? Fight back, and stuff. They don't know that some people might be quiet and do this, and they might have hands. Pause. Okay. But anyway, healthcare workers, retail workers, and service employees are especially at risk for workplace violence. And I know y'all done seen it. Everybody is on social media. We're on social media right now. So everybody is on social media, and that person didn't get your burger, your McDonald's order right, or your food order right and stuff, and you're gonna go in there and knock the mess out of them. But they're trained to make a cheeseburger exactly like this, and you ask for a cheeseburger with no cheese. So where the cheese supposed to go? What if they don't have enough bandwidth, or they don't have enough intelligence to know they ask for a cheeseburger with no cheese? Shouldn't they just have said hamburger? but they wanted to be charged for a cheeseburger and then you don't put the cheese on there? Or am I supposed to put the cheese in the box with the burger, but not on the burger? Like, what am I supposed to do with the cheese? You said a cheeseburger and then with no cheese. Okay, but you see what I'm saying? That's crazy, and stuff, and it's uh intimidating, and stuff. Or I asked you to do this, and you gonna do this, and you gonna give me two milkshakes, and I said a soda and a milkshake and stuff like that. So you gonna beat them up, or why don't you just pull over and park and get you a soda, probably an extra large, just for your time, for free and stuff. But you don't have to, you know attack the person. They're not there to be attacked. They're there to do a job, hopefully, and then go home and live to talk to their family. You don't even know how important they are to their family, or those little kids waiting at home for that paycheck to come so that they're taken care of. So, this all means something. Also, roles in the workplace. Understanding who does what helps employees know where to seek their help. Now we get into the part where let's work on some help. Now we know about violence. We know about, being unmotivated to do your job and I'm just here for my check. I don't care about nobody. I don't care about nobody grandmother or grandfather and stuff like that. I just want my check, and stuff. You could be like that, or and stuff. That's a sign of some type of burnout and everything. You start blaming everybody, even an innocent patient or something like that, or an innocent customer or something like that and stuff. So management will be your supervisors and leaders. I try to say those two together. I don't know why. But anyway, management is responsible for creating a safe work environment. That means you don't have to be scared you're going to get the hell beat out of you every time you come to work. For one, that the manager is on your side. Another one, setting expectations that we need to make sure we write on 100% of our boards and all that good stuff and everything. Welcome on in, Robert. He said that right there. Exactly. You need to write when you go into the patient's room, you need to write on their board who their nurse is so that they know, and they won't be calling another nurse to come in there and help them when you're right there, and stuff like that. It creates customer satisfaction and everything. Nobody won't be complaining about everything and stuff. Managing the workloads, making sure that everybody is fair. Like so and so, the charge nurse, so she always gonna give her best friend all the good patients, and then we get all the messed up patients, and they be hecka hard to do, and we never get finished and stuff like that. Wait till so and so get on, then I'm gonna get my turn, or whatever and stuff. So managing the workloads and stuff, making sure they're divvying them out correctly and everything. Addressing the complaints by the patients and by the staff, like, and everything. Oh, oh wow. Rose said, Darren said you're right. Thank you. Tell Darren I said thank you and stuff. But that's what really be happening. It's crazy. And then also enforcing policies. So they got, every place got policies, so it ain't nothing we can do about that and stuff. But enforcing them, that's what your supervisor is supposed to explain to you and stuff. Now, whether we do it, it depends on how disgruntled we are. If we not that disgruntled, but we can make the change, then we'll do it. But once you start crossing that burnout, I ain't doing nothing. What policy? Okay, I'm gonna eat that policy up and make it disappear because I don't want it. I don't care. I don't trust y'all anyway and stuff like that. I was one. That's why I'm saying this. Good leadership. Good leadership promotes respect, mutual respect. Nobody's higher than the other in the fact that you don't have to feel like you the lowest, dirtiest dog on the totem pole, like you a low budget, whatever and stuff like that. You should have the mutual respect to know that I'm doing my job, and if I wasn't here, it wouldn't run like this, and everything. But they need to respect you but also you respect them that I know that you got to do this certain thing and make sure that this is done and everything and stuff. So therefore, it's that mutual respect. It's fairness. When you get an assignment, you don't get over assigned where yours is so heavy that everybody else is partying in the break room and you out here with no bathroom break, no lunch break, no nothing break. Nobody's helping you. No, you didn't come there by yourself, and that hospital can't run on just you alone. So if you want to do that, my thing was I would call in sick. Oh, y'all want to? Okay, yeah, I'm not going to be there. See how it happened when you got to give that one to the one you then spoiled and stuff, because I'm not going to be there. So who you going to give my work to? And then you come back the next day after that, and then they split your assignment up, and then they put all of them back on yours and stuff. So they're digging and everything and stuff. So Robert said, I have nurses here that are doing that now. They need to hear you. I know. Robert, tell them to get on. They could go on YouTube and stuff, or Facebook Live and stuff. It's under Charlene Nurse Allen. But either way, they could get on and see what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, because I lived it 22 years, 2 decades. You don't think I figured something out and everything? And Auntie Barbara said, that's only if you have a good leader. Exactly. Who ended up being a good leader? Bam. Yes. I took that on. If I seen a nurse that was overwhelmed, I would go in there and help that nurse. Y'all got easy assignments, so I'm not going to deal with you and stuff. I'm going to deal with them and everything. Oh, yes. Okay. You said I'm giving them all the info. Yes. Thank you, Robert. That's my brother. Thank you. And stuff. But I'm saying all of this to welcome on in Rosie Granny Allen, my mommy. She says she's watching. God bless you always. Amen. And God bless you always. Amen. Thank you so much. And stuff. But saying all of that stuff, you need the fairness and the accountability. They got to be able to stand for what they do and stuff, because sometimes you could spoil somebody so much that one nurse that gets spoiled all the time, it look like they're not doing nothing because they really not. And then by the time they get a real patient load, they in trouble. They in trouble. Oh, Robert said, God bless you, Rosetta. Yes, I love that. Oh, yeah, I see it. I knew what you were saying. And everything and stuff. So a bad leadership can contribute to burnout. Okay. Staff turnover. I quit. I'm not gonna sit here with y'all. Oh no. You got the wrong one, baby. I'm a whole business or walking business. I don't have to be here with you. Oh yeah. Auntie Barbara said, make them work. Exactly. Make them work and stuff. But you got to make it fair. Everybody should have one hard one, and stuff like that, so that everybody got it. Because that one that got an easy assignment and it's just a blow by, and stuff, they're going to get lazy. So they all need to be able to touch the dark side, or touch that certain patient that's super complex, so that they all learn how to work with that person, or something, whoever it may be. And they don't, sometimes the patients don't mean to be that way. They just know, they just been in the hospital enough, or the hospital setting enough, to know that y'all supposed to be doing this and y'all supposed to be doing that. I don't know what you doing here, and stuff like that. So that's where that comes in at and stuff. So it does make sense when you look at it that way. And then bad leadership, burnout, staff turnover. I quit. Or 5 nurses left in 1 month. Yeah, somebody doing something wrong. They don't just leave like that. Everybody need a job. We need money. We got mortgages and car notes and car insurance and health insurance. And we don't leave if we're happy or at least bearable. And so we leave when it's a hot mess and it ain't getting better. Okay? And stuff. So that toxic workplace culture, that means that everything, people are being scrutinized. People are outside of the rooms. timing you to see how long you're in that room. But if they really went in there and listened, they would find out that you're explaining each and every medicine like you were instructed to do, and explaining that, and that you walk the patient to the bathroom first and then put them back in bed. Then you gave them their medicines, and read off what each medicine does and stuff like the nurse is supposed to do. And they don't do that sometimes. So then that falls on you, and you stay in that room a little bit longer. But find out why that nurse is in there a little bit longer, especially if the nurse got over a decade of work at that same hospital. That nurse probably was doing the right thing. But if you didn't try to find out, then you missed the opportunity to learn from somebody that's real and that been there and did that and everything. So, yes, I'm venting. But anyway, Auntie Barbara said yes, because they're gonna miss you when yes, because they're gonna miss you when you're gone. They need to learn how to do it, how to do your job. Exactly. Don't time me and try to figure out, so you could go back and tell and destroy me. I got a family to take care of. So you trying to do this, and why do they need you to do it? Tell them to do it themselves. So I can walk up to them and knock the. But anyway, I'm just saying, if it wasn't real, I wouldn't be saying this. I kid you not. This is deathly real and stuff, and it's that bad and stuff. Where just the wrong people get together and they become toxic, and they laugh at that person that's suffering and stuff like that, and they don't know that person can break. And then what happens? Especially if they got hands. Anybody know what hands is? But anyway, Rose said, you're the real one. That you right, because I learned, that this nursing wasn't just a job for me, it was a calling. Why you think I'm teaching right now? Why you think I'm teaching this stuff and that I'm on a podcast and stuff? I'm shy. I'm embarrassed to public speak and stuff. I'm doing it now and stuff, but I'm saying all of this stuff because I felt like the need for you guys to know what's going on so that you could take care of your family and they could take care of themselves and advocate for themselves and stuff while they're in there and stuff, when they're mistreated, and they could become their own advocates for themselves and stuff. Why you think I'm on here? Because I want you guys to cross over and be able to do that and stuff. You never know when you really gonna need that skill. Like Charlene told me to ask them. I don't know what no potassium level is. What I need potassium for? What is it for? Yeah, if you don't have enough in your body, it could stop your heart. If you have too much in your body, it can stop your heart. And guess what? If your heart stops and it don't start beating again, you are dead. So you see how simple that is and stuff. So we do need to get this out here, and we do need to talk about it. We do need to express ourselves and everything and stuff, because it's crazy and stuff. My brother Robert, he said, we lucky to hear you, gonna make it big. God is good. That's right. We're going to do this. And we're going to make sure that people know I'm not getting on here for the fad, and stuff. It's nice to do that and stuff. I'll do that when I decide to sell jewelry and stuff like that and everything, and stuff. I'll get on here and do something with that and stuff. But for right now, I'm teaching this medical talk in layman's terms with Nurse Charlene. And I'm going to tell you some of the things that I can't make them up. And stuff. This is expertise at its best and stuff, because I've been through this and it's been rough, and stuff. Some of it's good and stuff, but I even told nursing students and stuff that I quit every day that I was there. I thought I had Parkinson's. I was like, I can't even puncture IV fluid and put up the little bag of fluid and stuff. I was like, my hand was woo, and stuff like that. And it's the weirdest things that happen to you and stuff. And then when you're nursing, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna tell you right now, I quit the first year I was there. Oh, they gonna give me the patient chasing me down the street and he buck naked. Oh, y'all gonna give me that patient? I quit. I hate y'all. I quit, and stuff after a while when I got my swag and stuff. I had, I put the little sparkly stuff on my eyes and stuff like that. And the patient went crazy and started chasing me down the hallway with no clothes on. So what I'm supposed to do if he caught me? What was he gonna do? Rub it up against? No, and stuff. But I said this also. He might have been chasing me, and I said I quit. But somehow, after the first year, the second year, the third year, I seen that check, and I said, "Yep, I gotta stay a bit longer, because this is gonna help me out and stuff." So I stayed a little bit longer. I took a couple more negative people, dementia, of course, and stuff. So it don't always be like that. But I'm saying all that to say that we are human beings first. So, who you see at home is who you see at home and everything and stuff. But Auntie Josie said, I really appreciate you helping me with the hospital and with the information you gave me to help out with my grandson. Thank you. Thank you. You family and stuff. I was going to do this anyway, even if I didn't have a podcast, but I thank God that you are on the podcast and that this is one example right here, guys, of where what I'm doing actually really made a difference. This is just one example. It's been a whole bunch of examples and everything. And the people might come on sooner or later and say something to you, but it's this part. Like, I'm not just talking to talk, girl and stuff, and don't be asking me, I don't work there, or something like that and stuff. I actually do give real advice. Like, go to this person. Don't let them send them home and tell this is right and this is right and everything, because sometimes you could run up on a life or death situation, and then what you gonna do at home? Like, you don't have an x-ray machine. I don't have an x-ray machine at home and stuff. And like I told you, I said life is lifing on me too and stuff. And I said that with my mother and cancer and chemotherapy and surgery. And then radiation and chemotherapy, and stuff, and all of that stuff that I got to deal with and stuff. So I'm not on here, just playing around. I'm not on here. Yeah, no, I learned it. I had to stand up, and stuff like that. So be it as it may, yes, it did start off, like, oh, I just like to go on and I like to teach a little something. And then life got real on me. And it really did what it had to do. And I had to pull all those skills that I had over all these years and figure that out, and how to sit up there and fight with my mother. I couldn't fight her fight. She had to fight her fight. I just was supporting her and everything. I couldn't pray her prayers. She had to pray her own prayers to God, to ask God to help her and stuff. I would just right along of the way, like, God, please touch my mama. Please fix on my mama. Please work on her and stuff. Work with her and everything and stuff, because the things that she went through, and it ain't even been a year. June 13th will be a year since the day she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and stuff. I'm not playing. I'm sorry and stuff. I can't even afford to and stuff. So when I come on here, I'm giving you sound information. I'm giving you sound experiences. I can't talk for every single thing because I haven't been every single thing, but I'm giving you sound doctrine, and stuff of what's really going on out there and how we got to pay attention to our bodies. That's why when stuff happened real bad to us, it'd be like, and stuff, or it just took them. No, it didn't just take them. It was telling a long time ago and stuff. It didn't just take him. It didn't just take her and stuff. It was always saying something, but if you weren't inclined to know that doesn't look right, or they shouldn't have blood in their boo-boo, or something like that, that's a problem, and everything. My brother said, yes. Let me see what you said. Yes, you are going to be blessed tenfold from being you love your mommy. Oh, yes. I'm already blessed because she still woke up this morning. Thank you, Robert, and stuff. Yes, I just that alone and stuff. And Auntie Barbara said, amen. That's right. That's right. This is a blessing, but also a lesson. It's a life lesson that you can't be playing around Cause life's on you, and everything. Auntie Sandra said, "Preach, Charlene, Nurse Helen." I know. No, it really is that serious, and stuff. I had to take the time to. I cried. I fussed. And and all of that. I King Konged and beat my chest and all of that stuff and everything else. Cause guess what? I got the nerve to be a human being just like you. And the only thing that separates us from the difference is not everybody body snitches, including mine, or I tell on mine. The only thing I did was I told on mine a lot faster. And then by pushing this into my mother time after time, she's not scared to tell on her body because she knows that it actually can save her life. And in her case, it did, and stuff. So now she won't keep things from me, like falling over or something like that, or, getting dizzy and stuff. She tells me everything and anything, and I address it. But you can't fix it if you don't know it's broken and stuff. So that's where all of it comes in at and everything. So thank you guys. See, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all see what's happening and everything. So that was the leadership, providing good leadership is this and bad leadership is this and everything. Also, staff and employees have the responsibility to perform their assigned duty, whatever it is. It doesn't matter where you work. You need to, whatever you're getting paid, blah, blah, blah hour for, you should be able to do that assignment. Now, even if it's overwhelming, you should be able to do most of it. Sometimes it's overwhelming, and stuff. And if ain't nobody helping you with it, do what you can and leave with no guilt, and stuff, because it ain't nothing you could do about it. And then also follow the workplace policies because they're put in place because somebody messed up along the line. So that's why they got that policy now, because somebody actually did it again and again until they came up with a policy for it. So now you don't have to do it because you got the policy. And then the other one is treat your co-workers respectfully. Because if they go postal, they come to blow your brains out. Yeah, they gonna come get you. What you want, these hands or this gun, this taser? What you want? And stuff. So you gotta just know that, oh, she was so quiet. And she beat the hell out of me in the parking lot. Okay. And stuff. So treat co-workers respectfully. Report unsafe conditions. If you see something going down and stuff, you got to tell on it too. Because it might not get you that day, but it might get you the next day or a week down the line when you forgot about it, and stuff. So tell on it and everything. And oh, look, Auntie Barbara said, always great information. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Auntie, for getting on and everything. And my brother, Robert, said, love you too. Appreciate everything you do for me to find time when you're busy. Absolutely. Bless your heart and stuff. Because the good guy got to win. My brother got to win. That's all to it. I don't care. But and stuff, I appreciate you and stuff. And then employees should never ignore harassment or threats. That's one big one. You can't ignore it and stuff because it's a matter of life and death, and stuff. So you got to make sure you don't want to be a rape victim or something like that, or something, happen to you and everything. So you need to make sure that you reporting this, especially if you already check it and then the person don't want to listen or something like that. Yeah, take it to the next level. But don't just, maybe they'll stop if I ignore them. No, they might think you like it. And yeah, they don't know how to say no as it is, and stuff. So you got to watch out and stuff. And then the human resources, what do? They supposed to be a part of the hiring and stuff. Let's find out. The human resource is the department responsible for employee relations and workplace policies. So they handle complaints. My supervisor, she all in my business. She's saying some stuff she don't want, and then making sure that any papers that I put in for timeout, she throw them away immediately without even asking me. Even though I'm gonna be off because I'm not gonna show up, so that means I'm off anyway. But okay, okay, you could get it this way or you could get it that way, and stuff, or harassment reports, somebody, and mind you, I said harassment, I'm a lady, but also men, they can be harassed too, and stuff. And sometimes, men are harassed by other men that like men, or something like that. And women are harassed by other women that might like women, and stuff, and stuff. So you got to look at it that way and stuff. That's the day and age we're in. Let's keep it real and stuff. And then also workplace investigations. If something is really out of pocket and you didn't complain on it, they need to be investigating this. And when they don't and stuff, they need to have their job taken from them. And that I'm talking about human resources and benefits information. They need to let you know, do I got Delta Dental or Delta No Teeth Dental or Delta Dumb Dental or whatever it is, or Vision Plus, or do I get some glasses? I can't see, and stuff like that, and stuff. They responsible for getting you that information, letting you know what you got. And of course the policy, so that you following the rules because somebody broke them already and everything. Uh-oh. Auntie Josie said, I have a cold work that got mad at co-worker that got mad at the supervisor and told me he was going to shoot him and told me he would call me so I can get out of the building. So I did report to the to the boss because I didn't want nobody to get hurt. Yes. And see, this part, it's a name and stuff, and I'm gonna put it in after the live. I'm gonna put it in the comments under Auntie Josephine Collier's thing. It's called I think it's called TARSOF, which is your ability to report workplace violence. Because what if he really did come up there and shoot him and he warned you and stuff? Guess what? You're investigated now. You're a part of that crime. Because if you didn't tell that, he didn't do you no favor by telling you. He did you a favor, but he didn't do you no favor by telling you, I'll call you to get you out the building first, but I'm about to blow this building up with everybody in it and stuff. That is a threat. That's it's called TARSOF or something like that. And it's a real thing. It's a law where like if it's a man or woman and the husband or ex-husband is harassing the ex-wife or something like that, and he said he gonna kill her, he gonna kill her dead, and then she pop up dead, and you heard and you seen him, you was on your way to work and stuff, or on your way to the parking lot, and you seen him hiding out in the parking lot, but he on his way in there, and you know who he was and stuff. It's your born duty to tell, because that person is dying and no telling who else he take with them, and stuff, or she take with them, and stuff, or however that go. It could be a she, it could be a he. The perpetrator is just the perpetrator, but that is a real thing and stuff. And until you did actually do good, and you probably saved people's life and stuff. And I know it feel bad because he warned you and stuff, but look what you gonna do. You gonna take it that far? You gonna kill somebody, and stuff. Yes. Fight for your job and stuff. You might not even be wrong and they might get fired, and stuff. So you don't even have to shoot them. You could stay and they could be mad and lose their job and stuff. So you see where I'm going with this and stuff. It's very important when stuff like that happen. I know it sounds like I'm the snitch and, I'm my company. I don't care because my company is your body's a snitch, believe it, and stuff. But that snitching, that's when snitching really pay off. You don't want that to happen. You don't even want that person to get in trouble and come up there and do that. So you want to take care of that right away and everything. They might be able to do something and get something for that person and give them a severance so that they can, in a good review, so that they can go to another company and still live their life and take care of their family. So that's a big deal and stuff. But thank you for even saying that and stuff, because that's what I'm saying. We're on here, we're interactive and stuff, and people are speaking their truths and stuff like that. And this is some real stuff, and it's dangerous and everything, because it's workplace violence, workplace, hostile work environment, and all this other stuff, workplace stress and everything. And you don't know what people have been into before they got there, because they're also a human being outside of there. They also go to the clubs. They also drink and whatever, drink and drive, whatever they do and stuff, they're also being a human being outside of that workplace. Ain't nobody perfect and stuff. So that's my spill on it. And so the human resources role is to protect the organization and address employees' concerns and everything. So then I'm just gonna run through these real quick and everything and stuff. And this is, how do you get help? I'm in a situation where I'm stressed out on my job. I feel burnt out. I hate everybody there. I hate myself. I hate everybody at home too. Everybody could get it, and all of that stuff. I'm miserable, whatever, and stuff. You're in that situation. Okay. What do we do? Or what can we do? Well, most jobs have a thing called EAP. It's right here on the board. If y'all see all this stuff I wrote on the board because I was going crazy and stuff, it's mental health. But anyway, employee assistance program. And that's where you get services like that include mental health counseling. So they actually talk to you. You could get an actual psychiatrist to talk to you and everything privately, and nobody has to know. And that person can take you off work and everything and give you time off to get yourself together and stuff. Then they got a stress management. They teach you how to manage your stress so that you're not coping badly. You're not ineffectively coping, not coping with your job properly. They give you financial advice. This is all stuff, a benefit to you at these big jobs and stuff, these big companies and stuff like that. Include McDonald's is a big company. It's McDonald's everywhere. It's Burger King's everywhere. They got all of this stuff there. They also got substance abuse. If you happen to be coping with a drug, drinking or drugs or pills or shooting up or whatever you might be doing and stuff, they got somebody that can help you and get you rehab and save your job before you get fired and all of that stuff take place. Also, family counseling, which is sometimes we bring the stress home to our family. And I don't know if it's any nurses on here right now, but I know some of my nurse girls, and guys and stuff, we take that home to the family and be like, like, oh my God, I feel like a hoe up here. They didn't dog me out and stuff. I didn't even pee and stuff. I peed on myself on the way home from work. And, I peed on myself on the way home from work. But anyway, I'm just saying, it's that bad, and stuff. Like, they don't give you a room to breathe. They sucking every little thing out of you in one day. And then you got to go back and do it again. Then they suck that out and take your soul with them and stuff. And then you got to go back again. At least 3 days in a row, 3 to 4 days in a row. Yeah, it's a thing. Okay. And so that's employee assistance program. So it can save your job. And then a quote. When stress piles up, talking to someone may be the medicine your mind needs. You see what I'm saying? The stress piles up. Talking to somebody might be just what you need so that you don't slap your husband's ear, slap your wife's ear, and stuff, and terrorize them because you had a bad day at work, and stuff like that. You could take it to somebody else and get counseling so that you don't go off on the kids. You bastard, you sit down here and eat and stuff. You better eat all of it. I done worked and hold all day long for this food and stuff, this money to get this food and stuff. You gonna eat every bit. You gonna eat my plate too. Eat mine too, and stuff like that. I'm only 5, Mom. So you know what I'm saying? That it's really a thing. So then there's another one called FMLA, Family and Medical Leave Act. And it's a law, a U.S. law that allows eligible employees to take up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave for a serious medical condition or family reasons, like having a baby or a family member getting sick, and then you need to be doing all of that you could do. So you need your undivided attention. If this job is going to divide your attention, so if you need that time off to make sure that person is okay, or yourself and stuff. That's what it's for. And it saves and preserves your job. That's all you need to know, the real thing. And it's to care for a serious illness. It's also caring for a sick family member. It's for childbirth and adoption. You take FMLA and stuff, and the mental health treatment. If you already experienced the break, but you got in and took the advice they said, and now you're seeing a counselor and stuff, until that counselor puts you back to work and stuff, you got to stay off and do what they need you to do and get that counseling. Your job is generally protected during this leave. Almost all the time, maybe 90% of the time, your job is protected and everything. So that's a good thing. And then, of course, we got the PTO. I want my PTO instead of paid time off. That's all that means is hours that you accumulate from going to work every day. And after a certain amount of time, you get, so many hours. Each month you get so many hours. And after a while, it comes out to a couple weeks vacation or something. If you can't wait or something like that, and you take the PTO right away and stuff like that, then it just decreases your little bank of money. But if you are always there every day and you got the perfect job and a perfect life and stuff, good for you and stuff. But that's what happens and everything. And you can use it for the paid time off for vacation, illness, personal time, or mental health breaks and everything. Taking time off is not laziness. It is self-care. Okay. And then let me see. Oh, another one that I wanted to say, a catchy quote. When work stress becomes chronic, your mind carries the burden, but your body pays the bill. Your mind carries the burden of being stressed at the workplace, but your body pays the bill. So it will manifest in either overeating or not eating enough. You could be constipated because you're not hydrating your body. You're not getting enough sleep. So you got big old giant sandbags under your eyes or something. You wrinkle up real bad and stuff like that. And that's actually a thing. You lose a bunch of weight or you gain a whole bunch of weight, like a serious amount of weight and stuff. And it's not something planned and stuff. This is serious, and everything. So, with that being said, definitely, these are some things that can happen to you and stuff. I'm almost done, you guys and stuff. I just want to go over a couple real life examples of things happening. An example of burnout. A nurse works a 12-hour shift with short staffing for months. She begins experiencing exhaustion, anxiety, and emotional detachment. This is a classic workplace burnout. Exhausted, that anxiety and even anger and lashing out at people and stuff and being real hateful and stuff and just feeling like, oh my God, every time I come here, and then you're complaining the whole time you're there for 12 hours. That's half a day, and stuff. Just complaining. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, example of a hostile work environment, because I'm talking about that. That's the topic and stuff. A worker is repeatedly mocked by coworkers and ignored by management after reporting the harassment. Now, I've told on it. They doing this to me and stuff, and they keep on playing and stuff, talking about my pants is too tight and that this and that and this and that, or whatever it might be. I don't know. I just said that. But anyway, this creates a hostile work environment because I told on them, and now they really relentless going in. They trying to tear me up now because I snitched and everything. And then workplace violence. A customer threatens an employee during an argument. And even if no physical harm occurs, threats alone count as workplace violence. Because if they say they're going to beat your ass, they might beat your ass, and stuff. It's a good chance they might. If they brave enough to say that, they probably put hands on somebody before. So there's a good chance you might get it and stuff. So you got to take the threat. Don't just sit back. What if they waiting for you when you get to the parking lot or something? Yeah, you don't know and stuff. So if they say it, just make sure that you know that they could mean it. Don't be dumb and looking down at your phone and something, and they clock you upside your head or something like that, because then it's a workplace tragedy and everything and stuff. So getting done with that and stuff. And then I was gonna do some myths and stuff, but since it's the time is coming to an end and stuff, I'm gonna just go straight to the end. Prevention strategies. Healthy workplaces promote clear communication, reasonable workloads, respect and professionalism, mental health awareness, conflict resolution. If you want to knock that person, they want to knock you too, and stuff like that. That's a conflict, and they have things to solve that and stuff. So that type of stuff. But employees should also practice stress management. Do some exercise. It actually really helps if you do go for that walk and everything. Proper sleep. Get that sleep. Make sure, take a gummy, a melatonin gummy or something like that if you can't get to sleep and stuff. But take something, and stuff. It's doing that for a reason. And then also setting proper boundaries. Yep, I don't work on this day and stuff, and that's what it's gonna be, and stuff like that. And no, I'm not coming in extra and stuff like that because somebody else wanted to be off 150 days and stuff, whatever it is, find somebody else. Y'all got money and stuff, okay? That's not all about you. You don't keep that hospital running, because the day you die because you work too much and stuff, they already got somebody in an interview on your funeral day, and stuff. When you dead and you at your funeral and stuff, getting ready to get buried, they already hired somebody else for your spot and stuff. If not, they might have hired them before they even fired you, before you drop dead and stuff. And so another quote: ignoring stress today can create illness tomorrow. You ignore it today, and I got through it. I ain't tripping. I'm unbothered. I'm unbothered. And then you wake up the next day and you got a sore throat and all this other stuff happening and stuff. You was bothered. You lied to yourself though and stuff, but okay, you unbothered and stuff. So take home message: your job should support your life, not destroy your health. Oh, I like that one. Your job should support your life, not destroy your health. And remember, workplace stress is real. Mental health matters. Hostile environments are not acceptable. Help and protections exist. There's actually things for you. Listening to your body can prevent burnout, illness, and emotional breakdown, but you got to learn how to listen to your body. It'll do things and stuff. You'll know when you get a headache every single day you show up to work. Every single day somebody talks about your job to you and you get a headache, you know that something is bothering you. Find you some help and everything. In conclusion, workplace can either be places of growth or sources of harm. Recognizing the signs of stress, understanding employee protections, and seeking help early can make all the difference. And final quote: when the workplace becomes toxic, your mind warns you, your mood shifts, and your body eventually tells the whole story. Ain't that cold? I'm done, y'all. Thank you for everybody who was able to stay till the end. And if you weren't, it's okay. Catch the replay. I'm streaming right now via live from Facebook Live and YouTube at the same time. And Facebook is Charlene Nurse Allen. And from YouTube, it's Medical Talk in Layman's Terms with Nurse Charlene. And definitely this is something down for the books that everybody needs to at least go back over. So when I'm, it's interactive. That's why I talk to you guys and I want you to come on when I'm on. But even if you did miss something and stuff, it's okay and stuff. You could go back and catch the little nuggets in the beginning and stuff like that and everything. But this is some real stuff. And everybody has pretty much gone through this. Of course, not kids and everything. But yes, I appreciate everybody coming on. I appreciate your interaction and posting your words of encouragement and everything and stuff. I accept them all in, and I thank you, and I pray for you all and stuff. And you guys take care and everything. I'm gonna read a couple more people's post and everything, and then I'm gonna get on off and stuff. But that is Auntie Josie said, good night everyone, and thank you for the information. Thank you for coming on and stuff, and I appreciate you. And then my god sister Denise said, very informative, appreciate you, great job, thank you very much and stuff. I'm on every Tuesday unless I say so. You'll see the post and everything, but I'm on Tuesdays, and I'm hitting all the stuff that we need to deal with, especially with my boards in the back and stuff, because this is coming out of something that's going to be happening, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I make it manifest and everything. And then Rosie Granny Allen said, amen, amen, amen. Much love, mommy. Yes, I love you, mommy, and thank you. And I thank you for your prayers and stuff, because you always pray with me before I come on, and I appreciate that. And thank everybody, every single person that came on, for your interaction, words of encouragement to me and everything, and just getting on here and choosing yourself to learn something, more than you did before. And my brother Robert said, bye sis, love you too, bruh, and stuff. You take care and stuff, and I'll be talking to you guys pretty soon and everything. But take care, and I appreciate you, and get well. Yes. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it, okay? And remember, you can come back and catch the replay, so it's not over until it's over. Thank you, Robert.